they looked at over 150,000 people for research with some of the best research in the world, and looking at some of the best biobanks in the world. And there was always this gender difference. So this is, I don't know if you can see the screen well enough, but if you look at people through time, we look at chronic inflammation, and we look at glycans and antibodies, which is your adaptive immune system. We see that men, which are the blue line, they change very gradually through time. So they accumulate these bad structures and decline in the good ones. But women have a strange curve where, in a way, we have better results in reproductive age. And then there's a shift which happens around age 45 and 55. Now, here, back in these studies, this was 2013, we didn't have any menopause data. We just had age of the person. And we saw that around this age range, there's a shift, but we didn't actually know when it happens. And what happened as we became commercial and you could buy a commercial test, we saw that actually, if you ask, we see this acceleration in some of our clients, and then we'd ask the question, are you in menopause? And they'll tell me, no, I have a perfectly regular cycle. I'm not in menopause. So we went back to this data, and we went actually to a twins biobank, which is from Tim Spector in King's College, where he has 2,000 twins followed over 20 years, and they had some information about their cycle. And we learned that actually this shift in chronic inflammation happens years before you lose your final cycle. So it's not, menopause is actually not, it's diagnosed retrospectively. We wait until the end point when you haven't had a cycle for a year plus a day, while your hormones could be declining for up to a decade before that moment. And we know that there's this big gender difference, both in lifespan and health span. Women live longer, but they have more chronic disease. So if you look at men spend about 20% of their years with chronic illness, at least one, and women spend 23 years, or 23%. And if we look at all of the chronic conditions that affect us later on, majority of them are related to chronic inflammation, or there's an estimate that 3 out of 5 with us will have an end cause of death connected to chronic inflammation. And it all starts with aging, menopause, and also andropause.